Hey everybody, my next guests are a hard-hitting punk band who are making waves in the New York and Long Island scene. Here they are, Nelson BROLLY, Billy STECKMAN, and SANTOS YOURNET. The Fake Lighters, everybody. What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having us on.
I'm stoked to have you guys on. You guys rock, man. I've been checking out all your music. I urge everybody else to also, man. You guys are just making it happen. But let's kind of get the origin story of you guys. Like how long you guys been together, and just the whole formation of the band and all that stuff.
So there's many levels to it. We've all been playing music together for over 20 years. Me and Santos started off playing in bands together back in the 90s, probably 4 or 5 different bands. Then we started a punk band called Quarter Life Crisis. It was me, Santos, and another guy, Charlie. And then Santos left the band after 3 years or so. And Nelson came in and started playing bass for that band. And
Nice.
So that's how
he was my replacement.
Yeah. This was over 20 years ago. So
That's what I love. I love how the scenes work like that. That everybody's intertwined. And I was, dude, man. I used to cover the punk scene back in the day too, with Good Times Magazine, and
oh, cool.
yeah, and I kind of remember the Quarter Life Crisis. So I was checking you guys out, and I was like, damn, man, it was like Quit Your Job and stuff like that. It was some good stuff, dude.
Fuck you, I'm bored.
So it was like good to see a lot of the core members of that band kind of making it happen again in all these years later.
Yes. So I kind of stepped back for a while personally from music. I had a daughter, when she was younger. Then kind of COVID happened. I started playing guitar more, had more time at home, guitar sitting there. Started writing some songs. Got the band back together, so to speak. New band, but familiar faces. So.
That's one of the things with that COVID era. If there is a positive in that whole time period, is a lot of things came out of it. A lot of creative people managed to find different ways or rediscover things, get rekindled in. So it's interesting that COVID kind of is what's kind of sparked you, I guess, being stuck at home, grabbing the guitar again.
It shook up the whole industry, right? Like a lot of bands, probably people who couldn't tour. Obviously, I mean, we weren't in that scene then, but I mean, I know a lot of bands stopped being able to tour, stopped being able to be active, but yeah, it was, I guess, worked out well for us.
Yeah, man, there's something about kind of that whole time period. It feels like we were all in this warp, like this kind of weird time warp, and then I guess think it helped rekindle a lot of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when you guys were popping back in the days with the other bands, the Quarter Life Crisis and all the other bands, was in like the early 2000s when a lot was popping off in on the Long Island scene. You had bands like Taking Back Sunday and Brand New, and I don't know if you guys remember Eggplant Queens and Glassjaw and bands like that were popping off. Where did you guys kind of fit in that time period in the scene in the early 2000s?
I would say we were kind of in a different sort of genre at that point, because we were still playing smaller local shows and doing our own DIY tours and stuff like that. We never really made the jump into, I would say, more like that emo kind of stuff, like the emo hardcore. We were more just very punk rock, and we kind of did our own thing. We never changed our sound or our style to match what was like big out there.
Yeah,
we just kind of kept with what we were doing.
We definitely had our own scene that we were a part of then. There were a lot of great bands that we used to play every weekend with, and great shows, a lot of fun those shows back then. I don't know if it's just because the age we were at or the way the scene was, but yeah, good times.
Dude, those were some great times. Like that was when I was younger too. I'm probably a little older than you guys. I'm in my early 50s. But back in those days, I felt like I was old then. I was like in my like maybe in late 20s, early 30s. But I was going to all the shows and just rocking out, and it was a great time, man. And and you guys, yeah, the sound you guys had is kind of like more like vintage punk rock style. It wasn't like like you said, the emo stuff of what Taking Back Sunday or Diffuser or bands like that were doing. But
Yeah.
how would you say that being now 25, 20 years later, how has the scene changed locally? Has it evolved? Has it changed? Has it gotten better? Or like, what would you say?
I think it's way different now. I mean, there's still a lot of good local punk shows going on, but the scene is just way different. Like back then, it seemed like there was a bigger following that would come to shows consistently. Where now you're kind of like really reaching out to try to get people to come out and consistently.
I mean, I think a big part of that is we're older, but
Yeah.
but
Yes,
back then they were all like the
Much
church shows, the VFW shows. I don't know if that still happens. If it does, we're not a part of that scene. I don't know what kinds of bands are doing that, but we grew up from that like DIY mentality of we used to book shows at my parents' church in Belmore all the time, and it was great. And I don't know if kids do that anymore. I have no idea.
Dude, those church shows were the best. I remember the first time I got sent to from Good Times, they sent me to a church show. I was like, what are we doing? It was Snapcase.
Yeah.
And was it boys like girls or something? I forget the name of it. There's two hardcore bands. I don't know if you guys know Snapcase. I think they're still around.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most hard shows I ever seen in my life. Like the pit, the mosh pit, the whole thing. I was like, damn, like. And there's something special about the DIY kind of mentality and the vibe of making it happen yourself, and that's a true grassroots scene.
Yeah, I mean that's all the bands I know personally. I think I can speak for the three of us. All the bands that I grew up on and looked up to were all DIY bands, all that DIY mentality. So it's got a special place for us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So now here you guys are, kind of veterans in the game, getting back at it. You're hitting it hard, man, doing it. What's the goals this time around?
I would say, I mean, there's really no expectations, no grand goals. I think the goal is just to get together, be able to have an excuse to get together, spend time together, create something we're proud of,
Have a good time doing it,
have a good time, play a show here and there. We're not looking to play a show every single weekend. Play when we feel like it. Have some friends come out, connect, have a good time playing the songs. Hopefully if people like what we're doing and enjoy the songs, like that's just a bonus to me. I think that it's really just like a self-fulfillment for me, at least, not to speak for the three of us again, but like I just want to create something I'm proud of, record it, put it out, get a copy on vinyl, be able to hold it and say we made this. This is music that I'm proud that I made, and that's what I'm trying to get out of it.
Right on.
Definitely a lot of self-fulfillment for us. Like when we write the songs, we want to make sure that we're extremely happy with it. We're not writing songs to say like, oh, like, will the people like it? We write the songs that we want to like and that we want to hear. And I think that's where we're at writing now.
Right. And we're getting positive feedback, from people. Some people latch onto it and like it. That's great.
Yeah. The most important thing is that like if the people that we don't really kind of more writing for us more than like other people, and as long as we have like a sense of accomplishment and satisfied and happy with what we put out, that's all that really matters, And yeah, exactly. If people want to like it, great. If not, it's still
that's just
still
like
fine.
a cherry on top.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right on. I do think that if that as an artist, you have to make it for yourself. And I think that if you're satisfied with it and you're making something that you're passionate about and something that matters to you, people will feel that and they'll gravitate towards it.
Yeah,
You know,
Absolutely.
I
It's the
think
most
people
important
know, yeah, they know when it's manufactured. When, like, if you guys went out and tried to make like a pop hit, I think it would be obvious. You know what I mean? People
It
would,
wouldn't work. Terrible.
like those guys, man, what do they think they
Yeah.
were? Like, you know. So
Absolutely.
you guys are now. This is the. Is this where the magic happens? This room you're in right now. This is the rehearsal space, and is this where you're recording the LP also?
No, this is we're in my basement. This is just my little music room to house all my stuff. I demo some songs in here, but this is just my little large closet in my house to
Well, this is the room where you come up with like the basic ideas for a lot of the new riffs and
Yeah,
a lot of the new
we-
songs.
we have a different we have a rehearsal space that we practice in Long Beach. That's, I don't know, it's not huge. What do you think? It's like 4 times the size of this room. This room's tiny. I don't know if you can tell, but
No, I can't really tell. I can see you guys are close together, but it looked like it could have been bigger. No, that's cool, man. That's I love rooms like that, you know, and you could see this is like a good creative space. This is, you know, so take me through, like, because I know you guys are working on the album now and some new music and things like that. Take me through a little bit of the kind of the creative process. You know, like from the beginning, like does it start with the lyric or does it start with a riff or a melody, or how does it all begin?
you know, I write the bulk of the songs. Usually, I got a guitar in my hand, a riff and a melody maybe comes together at the same time. You know, every song kind of is born a little differently, but I generally get a couple of riffs with some vocals. I'll work out most of a song before I bring it to practice. Sometimes I demo it in here and send it to Billy and Santos. Sometimes I just bring it to practice and show it to them. And we kind of flesh it out from there. And we, you know, I have a loose arrangement usually when I come in, but, you know, it's a collaborative process. We'll work on the arrangements together, add some parts. You know, we've added bridges, added end parts together that have come out of practice. So, but yeah, usually the main song comes from this room and me.
And
It's a lot of fun too. In the beginning, when this group started, it was just me and Nelson. Nelson came to me and he said, "Oh, I got a bunch of riffs and some songs that I put together. Do you want to play drums on?" I said, "Sure." And it was basically, I would ask him, like, what's the basic idea? Like, what kind of beat do you want me to start with? And I would start with what he had in his head. And then I would say, I think it would sound better if I added, you know, a faster punk beat to this section, or if we did a breakdown part, or, you know, if I did a riff on the toms for this part. And we kind of like bounce the ideas back and forth. And sometimes he likes the ideas and sometimes he doesn't. But for the most part, I feel like I can convince you.
No, I think it's really important to be open to everyone in a band to have a voice in the saying what we're playing. Otherwise, you know, then I don't want it to be my band and these guys are like hired guns. I don't understand how bands work like that. I think that's really weird. Personally.
Right.
I've never been in a band like that. Every band I've been in, you know, we kind of bounce ideas off each other and we want to all be happy with what we're playing. Yeah. Or we keep bouncing off ideas until we all like it. So,
yeah, and I found that too. Like, with collaboration is when you get the best out of everybody. You know what I mean? If everybody's a part of it and everybody's collaborating and they're just going to build it and make it better. Like sometimes, you know, I'll write you know, scripts and things, and I'll collaborate with other people, and you get kind of attached to certain things. But
yeah,
I would say 9 out of 10 times the addition or the change is ultimately the right move. It's weird. I hate, you know.
Yeah, I try not to play a song by myself for too long before I bring it to guys, because you do get attached. You hear it one way 30, 50 times, and then it's hard to not hear it that way, no matter what we're talking about. If it's a vocal melody or you know, a guitar part or drum beat, whatever it is that you have in your head. You know, it's important to not get stuck on it, but it's easy to.
Yeah, because exactly. Like if you already have a melody and a whole thing or a chorus line or something like that, and then it's like you change it. Sometimes it, like with me with stuff I work on, it's easier just, all right, you know what? It's just going to be a whole different song now. I guess gotta mentally put that one aside, and then all right, there's a whole nother thing now. Just start
I've done that before, and I'm like, no, let's scrap this and start. And they're like, no, but that was good. I'm like, let's just keep moving. We could do better, you know. It's happened a couple of times.
So when when does inspiration hit you? Like when you're driving or something, or the mood you're in, or because you know with a lot of the music, the punk rock stuff, it's great way to get some angst out of your system and things like that. Or
Sure.
you know, do you like write love songs? Like when's the when's the last time you wrote a love song?
I don't know if I've ever really written a love song. To be honest with you. I don't know. A lot of times I'll like, if I already started working on a song, let's say, and I have a basic idea in my head of a melody or something, I'm trying to work on lyrics. A lot of times if I'm walking the dog around the block, that's just a time, you know, away from distractions. I guess it's really that comes to mind. Walking the dogs, I'll go over a lot of lyric ideas or melodies in my head, harmonies. Or if I'm like in the shower, you know, there's like white noise from the shower and it's just no distractions in there. So it's, I don't know.
The shower is always a very creative spot.
Apparently.
Yeah,
So.
for me, it always comes when I'm driving. Most of the time, ideas happen when I have nothing to write down or my phone's not around. Like, you know, it's like, geez, you know, those moments.
The worst time.
But now with my phone, you know, Siri, I just tell her what to say. And Siri, remember this. And
Right. Yeah, I do everything in notes on my phone. I don't know. Oh, my phone's lighting up because you said Siri.
Yeah. So is mine. I know. I was.
Hey Siri, what is your favorite song?
I like whatever you like.
Yeah, I mean, I do everything in notes on my phone. I don't know how, you know, I don't remember how we did it before. I guess we carried notebooks, little notebooks, notepads everywhere with you.
Yeah.
Dude, we've evolved so fast. Yeah, like I'm like, I don't remember how we did it the old days. How did I know anything before Google?
To this day, I have like a couple. I do everything in notebooks. I write everything down because I think it's like a little bit more important if you write it down. It's just me.
You know, I was scrolling on Instagram the other day and I saw something that was like Kurt Cobain's original, like handwritten lyrics to stuff from when they were recording Nevermind, and he had all like doodles and like ideas in the margin of like the track list, and it said like sad song, happy song, and I was like, it was so cool to look at. And I guess we missed that, putting stuff in notes.
I know, right?
So maybe you got the right idea, Santos.
All right, so we all need to get notebooks.
We need notebooks.
I'm still old school. I still have notebooks.
There you go.
I'm always writing it down. But I'm kind of in between. I like to write it down because then I remember it more. Like if I write something down, it will, I don't even have to look back at my notes. I guess for some reason it helps me remember it.
That's what they say, yeah.
Yeah.
I can keep ideas on my phone too, but something about the pen and paper to me is better just because I can look at all my ideas and I can see them at once. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel like, oh man, what was that thing I said that one day? Shit. Let's scroll off.
But yeah, so with that too, with technology changing, has that changed any of the way you guys like, you know, in the recording? Like, you know, is there any new techniques, new kind of, you know, like machines or, you know, AI or anything crazy that you guys are utilizing?
Nothing that crazy.
Nothing crazy like that. I mean, the biggest change that I've seen is with the newest recording we did. I was able to punch drum sections in, where previously it's like you have to do the whole take, start to finish, 3.5 minutes. And it's, you know, some of the hardest drum parts I've ever written in my life. And you know, it just got to the point where
you're giving away the secrets here. No, he did it. He did it all in one take.
Studio magic.
He's just making this up.
yeah. Okay.
He did everything in like one take. One take, everything.
I'm not gonna stop and smell the roses. It's not that I don't have the time. It's just that I can't stop moving. No, I can't stop moving. No, I can't stop moving through time.
So yeah, we just started recording an LP, 12 songs. So we just finished tracking drums last week.
Nice. So you have all 12 songs kind of like written and laid out. You know what the set list is going to be and everything.
Yeah, we got
Pretty much
12 of them. The drums are set, so that's
Yeah. Now these two guys have to do their part. Yeah.
So yeah, we're recording the same place we recorded the EP, and we recorded a NoFX cover for a tribute comp there at 756 Productions.
Nice.
They do a great job. So
shout out to 756 Productions for sure. Yeah, you guys rock.
He records every great punk band on Long Island's been through there, I think. So yeah. He does a great job.
That's awesome.
So yeah, we're super psyched to just finish the drums. They sound great. Looking forward to getting back in there and keep building on it.
Yeah, man.
It does take time though. So the drums have to be mixed first to a certain degree. Then in 2 weeks, then Santos will go in and lay down all the bass tracks, all in one take.
Yeah, probably.
I'm the bass master. Do it.
But it's exciting, and it's also a little frustrating because it's like, oh, we want this to be finished by next month. It's like, no, like in 2 weeks we'll do the bass, then a week later we'll start on the guitars, then laying down the vocals is a whole other thing. I already have backing vocal ideas that I want to introduce during the recording process.
So we recorded our first EP, I think it was in 2022. So the last 3 years we've been writing songs and just collecting songs. We're tempted to go and record because I know these days people record like 2, 3, 4 songs at a time and release it. But like, no, I want to do an LP. I want a whole album, even though that's old school and no one listens to music like that anymore. But so we've just been collecting these songs. So some of these songs we've been playing for 3 years. Some of them, we just never recorded them. We were waiting till we had. It takes a long time for us to write songs, with life. Exactly. We try to get together once a week, but sometimes we'll go a couple weeks without getting together. So it takes time.
I love how when you guys said life, you all go life. Life keeps getting in the way. No, so how do you like? I guess now, like 25 years ago, you guys were younger men. I don't know if you guys were teenagers or early 20s or where you were at, but now you guys are middle aged, so to speak. We're all young at heart. I still feel like a kid, but but it's different now when you got life in the way and families and all that stuff. So like you said, you're not going to be doing shows every weekend, but like has there been any kind of part of you that wanted to jump in the van and go touring around, like old school, like when you were kids? You still have that vibes, to do that?
I would love to do it again.
I would love maybe something will align at some point and we can make that happen for an extended weekend or something. Maybe once this new record's out. I don't know. I would love that, but will it happen? I don't know.
Those were some of my favorite times from back in the day, was when we used to do like a week-long tour and just drive around like the Northeast and play and some of the surrounding states, but like play every night, even if it was a Tuesday, to the bartender and the waitress at the place, and there was 2 other people there maybe.
We made some like lifelong friends from those tours. We used to go out play in Detroit. We met a band, Aggro or Die, out there, and they're like some of our best buds still. And they're in Detroit, but we see them as often as you can see someone that lives that far away. But every time we'd go through, we'd play. You'd make a network. You'd hit them up, and they'd get us a show. They come out here, we'd get them a show. There's a couple of bands like that. That's the one that comes to mind. But
because you guys were all in the trenches, and I feel like too, we're like not the same as if you guys are in your 40s, let's say, it's a different 40 from when we were kids, what the 40-year-olds were.
Oh yeah.
They weren't as cool as us. We're freaking cool, man.
I think so.
I agree.
I'm trying to keep the fire burning here, right?
I feel like we aged differently. I don't know if maybe it was the music. I used to say, and I still think it, that rock and roll and punk rock and all that is the fountain of youth to some degree. I feel like that keeps us young, and I feel like it prevents the old man from getting in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there's truth to that.
Yeah, I still like to rock out, man, all the time.
You go to a show, you feel like you're a teenager again. Maybe not every time, but yeah.
I might not be going in the pit anymore.
I don't go in the pit, but
I might be
The
standing in the back just having a beer.
in my mind, I'm in the
my-
pit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. In my
I might be
mind,
the
I'm like,
old guy like this in the back, but I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm watching the guys in the pit, and I'm like, yeah, I could do that. You know, yeah. And then there ain't no way I'm getting it. I'll hurt my back.
Yeah. Exactly. Carry out of there.
So now you guys got the album, and when is that? I know you said you've been working on it for the next couple of months. When do you expect that to be released? And is it going to be like a big release party and all that?
That's kind of TBD, I guess. I guess realistically, it won't be released once it's done. Recording, mixing, mastering, all that good stuff. Probably not till the fall.
Yeah.
We haven't really talked about it, but probably like to maybe send it to some labels, see if someone's interested in putting it out. You know, we put the EP out ourselves, which is fine, but you know, we don't really tour, so I don't know if a label's interested in minimal tour support and putting something out financially, but you know, on a small scale. We're not looking for like Epitaph to put it out, but you know, something small.
Yeah. No, I think you guys, man, like super tight. Listen to like 1, 2, 3 till the cows come home. Holding on, a lot of the stuff. It's solid, real great stuff, man. And that's why I reached out. I was like, these guys are awesome. Fake Lighters, man, they rock. And
Cool, man. So we're really happy with so like the first EP, we recorded that before we played our first show. So those were like the first batch of songs. We were like, let's just I don't know what's gonna happen with this band. Let's just get in, let's record it, let's just at least have a recording we're happy with. So you know, a lot of progress I feel like in the songwriting and the chemistry between us and everything's been made since then. So we're really excited about this new batch of songs. It's kind of a continuation from the EP, but it's definitely got a little bit of a different vibe. It's a little maybe, I don't know, a little more, I won't say aggressive, maybe a little more aggressive. Not like aggressive.
I'd say slightly more aggressive, but I think after the first EP, when we were writing this, for this new album, there was just a lot more of the creative process going on between the three of us.
It's a step up.
Yeah, we took a lot longer in the creative process. Even when we were tracking the drums and we were playing the songs, the guy recording us, he was like, "You got a lot of like weird little stuff in these songs, a lot of like weird little nuanced parts." And then we're like, "Yes, we've been working on these for 3 years." Every song we're trying to add a lot of little spice to it. So
I think
it's interesting to listen to,
Yeah, like if you're listening to it, it's like, wait a minute, they just did that?
We added a lot of, so be ready for a lot of weird little parts, in a good way. Weird little parts. Weird's maybe not the right word, but
yeah, I think, intricate. I think one of the advantages you guys had with this is that you did play. We're touring with these songs for 3+ years, playing them, getting it down like really super tight and getting those little intricate pieces in there. I think that's like definitely an advantage for you guys.
I think it's really gonna show once the songs are done. I think people notice it. Hopefully that. All the little stuff.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for people to start hearing the new songs.
Right on.
Not that we're not proud of the first EP, but I feel like we've grown over the last 3 years. Every band probably says every band likes their newest stuff, and everyone's like, play the old stuff.
Do you get any requests ever for people asking for the the quarter life crisis stuff? Like requesting those songs?
Like we have a few times.
A few times,
and we're like,
for it.
We haven't played those songs in 15 years. I don't know.
It's like we had a reunion show actually with Quarter Life. We played actually a couple of Quarter Life songs up.
That is true.
Yeah, what was that? I forget.
We played up at Snapper McGee's in Kingston.
Oh yeah.
It was a benefit show for a buddy of ours that passed away actually for his family. one of the Detroit guys actually from the Detroit crew that we're friends with.
Oh, right.
So a bunch he was in bands too. A lot of bands that he was friends with got together, put together. You know, the Northeast bands. They did a New York version of it because he was friends with a lot of New York bands.
A big tribute show.
That's cool, man.
And then when they were putting that together, they were like, it would be really awesome if Quarter Life got back together. Because our friend who passed away was a big fan of Quarter Life.
Yeah, so we were like,
we have to.
Sure. So we played, I don't know what. We split a set. We did a half Fake Lighters, half Quarter Life set.
Yeah.
So we played, what, 4 or 5 songs maybe?
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's freaking awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, with being a trio, what's the pros and cons of being a 3-piece? Because some of my favorite bands of all time are 3-piece.
Yeah. For me, because I play guitar, obviously, when you're missing that fourth person, it's usually a second guitar player. I'm not the world's greatest guitar player, I'll say. You know, I think I bring to the table the songwriting and vocals. These guys are way better musicians than I am. So I'm missing that extra layer of guitar, maybe to just fatten up the sound.
So, you know, at the same time,
guitar harmonies.
I'm not missing that because the type of shows that we play, when there's a second guitar player, sometimes it drowns out the volume of the drums. And I have to play the drums so hard just to feel like it's getting out to the audience. So it's kind of, I like being a 3-piece just because it's very clean. It's one guitar, one bass, and drums. A lot of times when you have the second guitar player, it's like it gets very. Yeah, and to me, it gets a little noisy.
There's a simplicity in the writing process. I feel like too that it's probably not that much more difficult for a 4-piece, but
it's like for me, it's like a double-edged sword. But also, it's like I compare. It's so weird because with the one guitar, it's really cool. Like you can focus on like just kind of like me and him, and I could like move a lot more and be like more melodic. Whereas 2 guitars will like kind of drown that out. But also, I was in a band with like 2 guitars, and it just made me kind of like work harder to like be noticed.
Right.
So Santos.
Yeah,
Santos is an incredible bass player. If you've listened to it, you know how amazing he is. So a lot of our songs you'll hear on the new album too. A lot of them, we kind of switch back and forth from like the lead part, let's say. So he takes the bass to a lot of really melodic lead parts, and I'm playing something simpler on the guitar, and then it's like a push and pull kind of thing. So that's a lot of fun, especially being in a band with someone who's
it's a lot more
so talented.
Like more like music, like I guess musically challenging kind of, but like I welcome the challenge kind of thing. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
There's like a long history, I feel like, in punk rock with bass players and like melodic.
Oh, there's so many
bass,
good bass players in punk rock.
The bass kind of like takes the I don't know, it takes like the
center stage, like almost
the bass takes the lead, and the guitar is usually like kind of sitting back, just fattening up out the sound. Yeah, and the bass is really in your face, driving the melody and everything, which is really cool. That's what we grew up with. So to me, it's like just makes perfect sense. Donuts, like do a bass solo, sure.
But I have to like catch ourselves. Like sometimes, am I doing like too much? I don't know.
No, you're killing it, dude. It's awesome. Yeah, it's freaking great, man.
I always heard like less is more, but then I'm like, I don't know.
And I think you guys got a great chemistry, and it goes back through all these years, of just grinding it out in the scene. And you guys had the relationship going back to other bands and in the past, to the Long Island roots. It's just great. What other do you have any shows coming up that people could go and check you guys out, are you gonna have a big record release party or anything like that?
I'm sure we'll plan a big record release party. Like I said, probably not till the fall. Right now we have 0 shows coming up. We're really just
focusing on the record.
We're intentionally, we turned down a couple shows. We're really just focusing on recording and really putting all our focus and energy into our big album.
Yes.
What's
Our
the
first full length.
So
what's the title of the album? Do you have one yet?
we don't have one yet. I've been trying to think. If you got anything good, let us know.
And I do like your cover art and all that. So you're going to be using the same guy to do the cover art for the new stuff.
I don't know. I have some other ideas in mind, but we haven't really talked about it. I was kind of thinking of taking it in a different direction, but we haven't really discussed. So
Maybe less cartoonish kind of for the next one, for this one.
I was thinking more of like the punk rock cut and paste kind of. I got a couple artists I have in mind though.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm saying this to them though, so they don't know.
Yeah,
what I'm
this is
talking
new to us.
We're getting the exclusive.
about. Exclusive.
No, this has been great, man. I would love to get you guys back again. And if you ever you want to come out to Levittown and come to Governors, we have a studio, podcast studio in the back room of Governors, like right across from the green room. And yeah, we could set you guys up. Maybe play an acoustic set or something like that. Just you still rock out, and but either way, it'll be a blast to have you guys in the studio too, and maybe some comics will come through and we'll just have a blast, man. It'd be good
Definitely.
times.
I wish we knew that. I'm right in Seaford. Could have popped right over there.
All right, well, we can make it happen anytime, man. Like, I'm all the way out in Manorville now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm like an hour out, but can you hear my dogs barking? They drive me crazy right now. But
I thought I heard
a little
bark.
something.
okay. Yeah, little mutts, but yeah. So I grew up in the beautiful neighborhood of Brentwood, Long Island. But now I'm out here. But
Gotcha.
in any case, okay. So sorry, my dogs were just distracting me a little bit. So you guys got the new record you're working on, and that's going to be coming out in the fall. So we're looking for that. Where can people find you and follow you and all that good stuff?
Usual places: Instagram, Spotify, all the streaming services. I mean, for news or anything like that, really just Instagram, I guess, is the best place. We're on Facebook too.
Oh,
but
yeah, Facebook.
I don't know if people see stuff on Facebook, or I feel like, I don't know. If I post something from Instagram, it goes to Facebook. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't like show up in people's feeds unless you pay for it. I feel like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if there's truth to that, but
Well, I'll put the lower in here to tell everybody go to it's at Fake Lighters, right? It's on Instagram.
I think so. Probably.
Awesome.
Just probably know that. I don't know.
Well, I'll have it. It'll be in there, and the link will be in the description too. So everybody go out, make sure you follow Fake Lighters because they got the new LP coming out, and and then I assume you guys are gonna be doing a lot of shows after that drops. So it's gonna be super cool. And like I said, I'm a fan of you guys. I'm rooting for you guys. And like I said, we got to get you to come in live. That would be awesome too.
Definitely love that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So you guys rock. Thanks again for everything. Everybody check them out. Fake Lighters, everybody.
Thanks, Tom.